We're going live. I didn't do a countdown. We are live. Bearder Bros Golf Show. Back at it again. I am Rod.
And Marcus.
Um, yeah. I'll be honest with y'all. Just right off the bat, this is
Another week of
community.
golf.
Another week of golf. I want to keep it community. I'm gonna pull the top part of my show notes up to the just the top of it, and that's to share something positive. Something uh, that I don't know that could be considered positive. So you want to share anything positive? I have one couple that I'm thinking about.
Go ahead, boss.
On the personal end of things, let's do golf, right? It's a golf show. It's where we started. But we're humans, right? So golf wise, I had been on a little bit of a snide, and yesterday, yeah, today's Monday, shot one of the better rounds, 4 over 76, and I've shot in a while. I shouldn't say in a while. I've had quite a few good rounds this year, so let me not be like over the top, but it just feels good to play good golf. Um, I truly believe like physically, like you have to be in this mental space to play really good golf. I don't care how good your talent is, but I don't know, like any bit of tiredness or physical kind of doesn't work out. But felt fresh. Hadn't played in like just short of 2 weeks that I played yesterday and shot that really good round. So I don't know. Rest your body. If you're in a slump, don't keep grinding it out, going to the range trying to fix something. Just give your body a rest. Give your mind a rest too. Stop overthinking it. Literally did not touch a club. Came out with a snowman on the first hole, but then shot a +4. So it says what you can do, right?
Yep.
Um, Another note, personal, more personal. Like we're not gonna hide, where we lie, right? In our politics and our lives and things that are associated with us. We are African American. We're black, so we have to. We don't have the luxury of making certain choices in life. So, as despondent, not necessarily in enjoying the news from last week. So, just being around my kiddo, I think gives me future hope for the future that kids understand and get things and will lead the pathway to different for the country that we live in. They see things, differently. I always share this story with people that our mother, didn't go to a fully integrated school until I think it was seventh grade. When she was born, she was not born with the right to vote. Of course, our grandparents were not born with the right to vote. So, the things that we experience today aren't that far removed from a completely different world, which means that other thought processes that exist in others still are around. So, I don't know. Like I said, the youth give me hope for the future that things can be different and that the experience that we have in this world and this country today can change in the future, and I hope I'm alive to see that. But yeah, that's my positive, that kiddos are our future. What you got, man?
Amen. I have nothing.
Okay, let's keep it rolling. In the golf world, this week was a week of second wins for all of our champions of the week. So on the DP World Tour, Paul Waring, although he's only 39 years old, he looks about 50.
Right.
Really the silver fox guy. Won his second DP World Tour in like 330 something starts. So the man's been going at it for a while. Over on the PGA Tour, Austin Eckroat gets his second PGA Tour victory. He's only been out on tour a couple of years at this point, so good on him. Ping Staffer, full ping bag. I was gonna go over his what's in the bag, but we've done a lot of ping bags, and so you know what driver he's rocking. That G430 LST, dominating the tour this year.
Hmm.
I don't plan on upgrading next year. I've been really happy with the driver, but I don't know, man. I feel like if Ping drops that G435, I might have to give it a couple swings and see. I feel like they got some secret sauce going on right now. They're
Yep.
winning. all over the tours. And then on the LPGA, A Lim Kim, South Korean, also gets her second career victory over at the Lotte Championship in Hawaii. So windy playing conditions for them, but she was able to capture a two-stroke victory and get her second victory of her career. So seconds all around the world in the golf world. Any notable things that you picked up from the weekend from any of those tournaments?
Um, let's see. It's kind of in between. I worked a lot of early shifts, so I was trying to stay up for a little bit of the Abu Dhabi. Saw a little bit of the coverage there. Saw a little bit of the worldwide technology. Saw like the first round of the Lotte on Wednesday. Didn't see much after that because of just that weird time from 6 to 9 where you're really not really watching TV. You're either eating dinner or
Trying to
trying
get your day
to
started.
trying to work out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
um I liked that. I mean, I hate being that person, but we just talked about it. Nico Echeverria, he choked essentially. He had the lead in the third round or something like that. The next thing you know, he's not even on the first page of the leaderboard. So good on him. Congrats for being a loser. Um,
Okay, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally had thought about it, and I said because I was again, our story from a couple weeks ago just brought up his past
yeah.
indiscretions while he was in college, and I was gonna read the police report. I'm telling you, every time that man wins, him and Taylor Moore, I will be reading the police report or bringing that story up. So that's what I was going to do had he gone on to win, and I was like dreading it. But
Yeah.
like I said, we got to live with the consequences of our actions in life, and that was going to be uh, part of the show today. So
Yeah.
yeah, good
But
on him for chucking it away.
yeah, Paul Waring, yeah, long time, European tour player. Um, he really kind of just ran away with it from day two. I mean, he shot a good round one and then went even crazier in round two. The course was for the taking out there. Yas Links was, although it looked really kind of intimidating. I think pretty much everybody knew what they were hitting off the tee. It could be aggressive. I mean, Minwoo Lee hit a 330-yard iron or something like that. So the course was for the
Right.
taking, and I'm glad they went out and went crazy on it. I always enjoy pros scoring like that, so it was good to see. And then I mean, hopefully tomorrow I catch like that replay of the Lotte. But like I said, I didn't really catch much past that first round of the LPGA. But I know I'll
Yeah.
be able to see it on YouTube at the worst. But yeah, they always
Yeah.
play it. They this is the third different time of the year that they've played the Lotte in 3 years on the LPGA tour. But the course that they play on is always a fun course to watch, mainly because of the
Right.
wind, but also the course setup. I mean, it's a par 72, so it's not like you're not going to go out there and see them just running through a bunch of par fours. They got par fives, they got all the mixes. So, yeah, it was good to see. Unfortunately, we saw the Champions Tour. I mean, Steve Alker, got the year-long championship, but
Yeah.
I mean, that guy that grounds his club on his chest won again as well. So, whatever, man.
Yeah. Old Bernie Langer, um,
Threw
still
his
cheating.
hat, right. Just but Steve Alker pointed to him and was like, "Thank you for winning that for me. Appreciate you for coming up and winning me money." So, I'm on Steve Alker's side here. So
Yeah.
thanks for, the greater good, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'd never watched the Old Man Tour. It's just not very interesting to me. And even the Lotte, it wasn't like, and like I just kept going by it. I had it on because I kept getting the notifications on YouTube TV that it was on at like 6 o'clock my time. So
Right.
I would turn it on and just kind of have it in the background. So I would catch some shots, and they were featuring this young, I think, rookie, Guseva. I cannot remember her first
Right.
name,
Yeah.
but she
She
looked
was
like she had some
challenging.
big game. Yeah. So we'll see how
Yeah,
her career pans out and whatnot. So you just never know, right? I mean, flash in
right.
the pans, she didn't win it, but um, yeah, more golf this week, which is good for us. The ladies back at it again. The men also playing again on the PGA Tour. I just looked it up and it fell out of my brain that fast where they're
Right.
playing this week.
Same.
Like
Are
literally,
they in
I got
Sea
too many
Island?
thoughts going
Is
on.
it their Sea Island, Georgia? Is it
I
this
don't think
week?
is this the R. I don't think this is the RS. No, this is the Bermuda this week. That's
Oh,
what it
right. They're
was.
in the Bahamas, even more into the coast. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that'll be fun.
What'd you
All
think
right.
about Tiger's scores?
Um, I was actually talking about it and listening to also the players breaking it down and just kind of it's a very Tiger course that the fairways are wide. I think
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like Tiger designs every one of his courses with signatures or elements from Augusta National, with the wide fairways, no rough. You know,
Yeah.
even when they play the Hero Challenge, that's a similar setup, right?
Right.
It's these natural areas, you know, pretty much fairway until you hit a natural area. Again, no rough. The
Yeah.
greens are very intricate, right? They're very
Yeah.
large and forgiving greens. So like your greens and regulations are going to be very high for the week. I think at one point, I was looking at somebody's and their greens and regulations were like 90%, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to be in the
Still
right
very,
section of the green.
exactly. Still very segmented. You still got to play the right angles from the fairway. So you can hit the fairway, but are you on the right side? Are you on the correct side of the fairway? Let me say that. Because, like, you can be
Yeah.
on the right side of the fairway and, kind of block yourself out, not really give yourself a chance into the green. But, there's still a lot of scoring opportunities. You saw a lot of backstops. You saw a lot of bowls into
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these pin locations to where you could spin it back or go far. And then, of course, the PGA is playing on primo green, so they can spin it on a dime with whatever where that they wanted to do it. I think that's one thing that that is always crazy to me because you never really go and watch a PGA Tour event where they're playing on new greens and the greens aren't
Right.
still holding. I feel like everywhere they go, the greens are still receptive enough to take spin, to take a bounce, and it still be able to check up. When we go out and play on new greens, like for instance, we went out and played Cedar Crest, the course where they played the Southwest Showcase for the college kids that year, maybe two
Which is
years ago
going
now.
down. What? Well, it was just last year, and then it's going down this week. I think that's started today. I hadn't turned on Golf Channel, but I remember the dates being like the 11th or the 13th, but I'll double check that.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
Cedar Crest,
so
New Greens.
so when we played those greens, even with what I felt like
Yes,
some
sorry,
pretty
confirm. It's on right now. Like they're replaying the showcase, which so it'll be on the next 2 3 days.
so well, I just thought it was crazy because they played some relatively solid greens for them, but when we played it, there was a lot of release. There wasn't much check, and I mean, we're coming into the greens a lot of the times with you know scoring clubs, wedges, around the greens it wouldn't check up, just a lot of release out there. So just kind of like the differences between the PGA Tour and the everyday conditions. So I just thought that was
Yeah,
while just kind of cool to see, also very interesting to see as well, because not saying we deserve those conditions, but
well,
I
I
wonder
mean
what
the
the
way
PGA Tour is doing to get those greens
water,
to be receptive with
water,
new.
water.
Yeah, that's a lot though, and
Uh,
it not be oversaturated.
Yeah, but they have to, right? Because just as an amateur, right? Let's take it to my experience. So I played the PAT a couple of weeks ago, and I shared this with you. Is that the greens for that particular course were new, less than a year old,
Yeah,
and they were not checking at all. And we're talking
right.
about chipping. You could get some stop with some short irons or whatnot. Um, I'm a pretty high spin player, and I was able to get even like some 6 irons to stop on greens or whatnot. But I think that's what the PGA Tour defense is, right? Is to
Yeah.
just throw a bunch of water on them, to soften them up a little bit, because you just don't want players not being able to chip or hit wedges and up to 7 irons in and not get any stop at all. So that's usually the way that they control that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It'd be nice to play, to have our amateur courses with new greens do the same, so we don't have to necessarily suffer through that rock hard pool table feel for a prolonged period of time. But it is what it is, right? It's the economy, folks. The water is expensive these days.
It is.
I'm an asshole. Um. So yeah, that was interesting, right? So I would love to play Diamante because my boy JP, him and his wife vacation down in that area frequently, and he's played it before. He said it's an amazing course and
Yeah.
fun to play. So I would love to step foot on it and see. And also, hell, locally, that one down in Houston, need to make nice with a member at that Tiger course down near Houston.
Oh, Blue Jack's not happening, but maybe we can go play Payne Valley or something like that.
No, no, no Blue Jack, not possible.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, bro. It's tough. You definitely got to
Um.
be with a member, and they will look at you crazy if you pull up without a member. I mean,
Oh, of course, of course. But yeah, Paynes Valley is an option. I hear that one's also very nice, and had a few
yeah,
people that I in my circle that have played it. Um, I'll have to review it. Like I saw an article from Golf Digest not too long ago talking about how you can get in on playing some of these exclusive clubs. That there's like a membership and an app that you kind of it's like this little kind of in community. It's hard to explain how it works, but it's like essentially members invite other members and they have these little get-togethers, and reciprocate. So I was thinking, okay, one day maybe that's in the cards to be able to do something like that and get on some of these exclusive clubs, without being a member, right? Because that has limits to it, and we don't want to
definitely.
play the same things over and over again. So when I kind of find that article again, or find a simple way to break it down, I will talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, it'd be something to rehash.
Yep. Quick little news stories that we'll run through, and then do what we do. Jason Day revealed some interesting news with his interactions with Live Golf dating back to 2022. And after I finished reading the article, I got the thought, like, why is he talking about this now? And if it was 2022, I'm thinking that there was a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement in place that we're probably at the end of. That anybody that probably talks to Live has to sign an NDA that they won't discuss it publicly for a certain amount of time. So I'm assuming we are at that period. But essentially, he said that he left the door open to Live, and he was definitely rumored to be a potential around that time. However, he was turned down by Live, and they cited his injury history at the time as being the major factor of why they rejected him, which of course he had been going through a number of back issues and just little, stuff here and there that kept him from playing consistently. And we've seen, knock on wood, a very healthy Jason Day over the last couple of years. So they probably could have benefited, had they had some faith in him. But I just found that interesting that, one, that he was finally coming out with that information. And I wonder, however, how many other people will hear from and are willing to speak on this in the coming, times. So what do you think about that story?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they have like an NDA because Ricky and JT and all them guys, they done brought it up. Damn, Speed, they done. I mean, they've
But did
alluded
they
to
talk
it for
to him?
sure.
Did they talk to him though?
Yeah, they threw offers at them boys. I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to.
But okay, stick with me. I feel what you're saying. But they could just have a blanket offer, right? That doesn't require the NDA. That's just to say, hey, here's 5 years and $150 million. You want to really get into some talks? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Just the timing felt weird to me. But
I mean,
you're probably
really, I
you're
just
right. I
think.
mean,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why Jason Day would be talking about that now, bro. Y'all got an Australian team over there, bro. You could have won. Whatever. Greg
what,
Norman is the leader
the,
of the team. Is the thing, bro. You got steps in the door. You really are injury prone if they were saying no, bro. Like period. That's what I'm thinking because 2022 you had already overdone this. You had already changed over the swing and you were swinging more upright. The back was already alleviated. Now you might have
but
been.
but but it was fresh that he was healthy at that point. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know. I
all of
mean, I get
22
the
he was healthy. I mean, these last
yeah.
three playing seasons, he's been nothing but healthy. So, but you're right. I mean, 2021 and 2020 were definitely him hanging out on the bench and in Ohio because of what happened with his back and just the load of it all. Pause. But yeah, man. I just think this is one of those things where it's just to me it sounds like an attention grabber. Like you just
Yeah.
doing some stuff to get your name out there because you're not in events right now. This is the fall series. You are above the fall series. We don't even really need to hear from you right now, but here you are talking about it. I mean, it's cool. It's whatever. I mean, thanks for letting us know that you were almost over there on that other tour. But I mean,
And he did throw in there that he was happy, of course, to have been to have been able to stay on the PGA Tour. That it was the right move for him and his family
yeah,
to remain on this side.
because what ended up happening? The dude ended up winning in Dallas. The dude ended up winning the Byron Nelson, like in
Right. That same
2023.
yeah.
Was it? It was just last
So
year, right? With the rain and stuff.
uh yeah, it was last year. It was. You're correct.
Yeah.
Because that was the
So
year that because I went last year. I went a and I got a couple pictures with him playing with Scotty. So yeah, that was just
yeah,
last year,
because
23.
you went Saturday, right? Or Friday?
No, I went on a Friday.
Yeah.
It was a
When
Friday.
they were in their
But
pairings,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. So
but yeah.
congrats to your back for being messed up, so that you got a chance to win and extend your exemption out here. How
Right.
about that,
I mean,
Jason?
he's got a whole compound in
Yeah, bro, you got a
in
whole stable, bro.
Columbus.
Just hang out, man.
Yeah. So interesting news from him. And yeah, he could have been a part of the Ripper GC Team Championship this year. Oh, he missed out. Dang it.
Oh, mm,
Dang, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's cover this Jalen Hurts story before we move to the race to Dubai. So, also there was a Jalen Hurts story that kind of just anecdotal that him and Saquon Barkley and I think it's Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, were playing golf with former President Barack Obama, and it was rumored that they were playing, but then it came out that Jalen Hurts was not playing, and it's in his contract that he cannot play golf. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what's the reason for this? And the article kind of just drags it out, and ultimately, not injuries that he can't play, but that he would become obsessed with the game. And I thought it was funny. I mean, honestly, truly, like when you get into golf and you really like try to get better, it becomes your whole personality. I
yeah,
mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's such an addicting game that I get it. As a quarterback, you don't want your franchise quarterback to be distracted, and we hear about that all the time. That quarterbacks are the biggest golfers on the team. You look at Josh Allen in Buffalo, big golfer, always at the what is that, Reno Tahoe deal, the celebrity golf that they have at the end of the year. So yeah, I totally get it. And but Saquon Barkley is able to get some swings in, but not Jalen Hurts. Thought that was a funny little anecdote, but definitely true.
yeah. The American Century Championship or whatever. Ryder Steele's in it
Yeah.
now. Or my fault. Roger still caddied, but I know he's on his way in there after the Creator Cup and stuff like that. You know, he'll work his way up to the active roster there with Steph and all them guys. So Alfonso Ribeiro, you know, all those names. I think he'd be in there
Yeah.
with his namesake. Um, yeah, I mean that's a funny story, but also, yeah, I get it. I, I mean, he probably does still do it low key. He probably does still golf, but probably just like at a casual level to where he cannot get consumed with it. I mean,
Yeah.
what's bro's name that we was talking about that was kind of messing up the culture? Um, Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner. I was about to say Smush Parker. Yeah, Sauce
He
Gardner.
ain't no
Yeah.
yeah, don't do him like that. He ain't no
He's
bust.
not a scrub. I
He ain't
know.
no bust, man. Come on,
Sauce
bro.
Gardner, for what we talked about earlier in the year, and
Golfing in the
yeah,
lightning, goof ass.
had
Cannot
everybody
relate.
lit up for about. Had He was Instagram famous for all of about a month, and then that died out pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, training camp started. The real action happened.
Right.
Go on back
But
out
yeah,
there, brother.
yeah. But Jalen Hurts, by all accounts, I really respect him. Seems to be doing very well with his money, and
Yeah.
is going to have a lot of time and resources available in his life to play as much golf
Oh
as he
yeah.
wants to once he
Nice
retires.
team
So
around him, all women, all black. Hmm, crazy.
shout out, shout out to that man, for having a level head on the shoulders. But yeah, golf is obsessive and will consume your whole life. We all know that. Let's get into the race to Dubai standings. So, just to keep everybody abreast, so these are people now that have an opportunity that play on the DP World Tour to swing over to the PGA Tour at the next season if they are able to be in the top 10. There are a few names that, because of already being qualified for the PGA Tour, are already in the top 10. You already know off the top, Rory McIlroy dominates this list, but of
Yeah.
course, that doesn't for him. Let me pull this list up here.
Yeah, and I think if he would have won today, then he would have sealed the championship before they even played it.
Yeah, let's see how big this is.
Ugh.
You have to zoom in. I know. Let's see here. On your screen, Marcus, if you hit the bottom right hand corner, you might be able to blow it up to get a little bit bigger. So I'll just talk through it here. So, like I said, number one on the list, Rory McIlroy. As you can see, he doesn't have that PGA deal next to his name as he is already qualified. But
Yeah.
our guy, Tristan Lawrence, or in my mind, Tristan
No,
Lawrence,
he's
looks
South
like he is
African, so
gonna.
it's for sure Thurston. It's for sure Thurston.
I have to hear. I would love to hear him say his, because the way the commentators say it, they say Tristan, but like I said, in my mind, you're not gonna change it that it's not Tristan.
Yeah, he's
He looks like he's
he,
pretty much clinched his. He's right under Rory. That's a guarantee.
yeah,
Rasmus Hogard will be joining his brother over on
Nico.
the PGA Tour, the
Mm,
twins. So we'll have two twins playing on the PGA Tour, I think for the first time. So that's pretty damn cool.
yeah,
Again, Billy Horschel already on the PGA Tour. Paul Waring got his
yeah.
win and looks like he secured his card on the PGA Tour. And as you can see by the standings, and this might be too small, but
Big jump.
he moved up 43 spots to be able to get that. So that's a really good week for him. Terrell Hatton continuing to put the work in. Terrell Hatton is a golf junkie, as we already said.
Yeah,
It's obsessive for him. So that one's interesting because I mean I know he doesn't qualify, um, but that he's again continuing, unlike a lot of his brethren on the Live Golf Tour, to play a lot of golf in what is their off season.
yeah,
I think I saw a little thing from Brooks Koepka that he won't be teeing it up until next February, which is, I don't know, it's just so crazy to me to have that big of a layoff. But we know Brooks Brooks is in golf for the money. He definitely is not in it for the love of the game.
yeah.
So not surprising.
Brooks is
Um,
we
and
talk about that pretty much every time that a major comes up. He's a big game player whatever he does, he'll find a way to be ready for that. And I think, he got a little one now, so I think he's trying to spend as much time with, his wife and the kiddo while he can before he locks in. And because I don't know if she travels abroad when they go across the
Now, I think
pond
typically I always see videos popping up of her doing the fool in
stateside.
their living room. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing their, when stuff's going on. So I don't think so. But yeah, he'll lock in when need be. Skip a couple names. We have Tommy Fleetwood. Of course, he is in their top seven. Again, they get points for playing on, in majors. So kind of unfair for these guys, but it is what it is. It's just a little extra check in their wallet, in their bank accounts at the end of the year, depending
Yeah.
on where they end on the race to Dubai. Nicholas Norgard also had a really good season. Kind of hanging on there though. Dropped a spot, but given that, I mean, he's in the middle of the pack for guys that would
Yeah.
actually qualify.
Right. There were so many names ahead of him that were already either qualified or disqualified. Sorry, Tyrrell, but yeah. So I think
Yeah.
it's just the first 10 available spots that wasn't already, kind of in there. Because Matt Wallace at 14, he's already there. Bob at 9, he's already there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
excited. You getting ready to say the next name, but I'm very excited about
I
Mateo
know. Uh,
Manacero. He made
Very. Go ahead.
such a
You go ahead.
he made such a resurgence. I mean, whatever he's doing with his putting stroke, very unorthodox, very weird to me. But the ball striking is back. The overall golf game is back. So good to see him. I mean, we're talking about prodigious talent when he was
Mm-hmm.
16, 17, making the run on European tour. So long time member out there from Italy, been doing it for a long time. So good to see him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a tight full on Titleist bag. So there's a lot of Titleists on the right hand side, y'all seeing, but all
Yeah.
you need to do is literally play the Titleist golf ball, and they will put Titleist
Yeah.
next
And
to your name.
they will literally associate themselves with you
Yeah.
just because of that.
Even though
But
Golf
but
Channel's
yeah.
title sponsor right now is Bridgestone balls and Bridgestone golf, with as
They're
far
probably
as it
they're
goes for
probably
that.
they're probably paying a pretty penny for that kind of sponsorship for
Have
on the
to.
Bridgestone side, which they produce a lot of products that outside of the golf. Like clearly,
Yeah.
tires is their main bag. So,
Yeah. They're still
um,
making stupid money.
yeah, but yeah, double down on your Mateo Manacero. It's just really good to see that young man not be lost in the sauce. We've seen a lot of golfers that start off their career very hot and then lose it and
Yeah.
then never make it back. So it was good to see him kind of. I think we started noticing mid-season that he was getting some run
Hmm.
and appearing in leaderboard. So for him to be able to finish the project and be able to capitalize on it. I'm proud of the man, and it's fun to see him. And still young. I think he's still under 30, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
right? Or
He's like 28. Seriously.
yeah, which is crazy. And I also wonder before we get to the end of this list, if there's any of these players that are gonna just opt out, right? Who may not want to come live stateside,
Hmm.
and even though it's an incredible opportunity, one person that I actually think that may have applied to, I've been seeing a lot of quotes from a guy that we've been disappointed in, Adrian Morant, in regards to, um, he traveled and played a lot on the DP World Tour. I don't think he was very keen on playing in the US permanently. I saw something from him today where it was just saying, oh, the PGA Tour should be its own thing in the US and all these other tours, including the Asian Tour, should form their own thing and be separate. And I was like, this dude gives me anxiety. Like, I don't know. Like I feel like he got a cop out from playing on the PGA Tour because he was next up and he was really on a heater and then departed after getting skipped over for the Ryder Cup. So I don't know that I wonder going through this list if we're going to see some of these people decline the invite and continue to stay on the DP World Tour. We'll see. Um, Moving down the list, Jesper Svensson, like the guy, got a brother for a caddy, so I'm interested to see if he brings him over when he comes. But he's got big game. He's been hanging around the DP World Tour, really successful for a few years now, and just notice him kind of always in contention.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him play with the big boys. Uh, Next guy, we both don't like criminal history, but got over. So Thorborn Olesen, former Nike athlete, former
Yeah.
PGA Tour player, but we'll keep him moving. He's had a game resurgence, so congratulations to him. Ryuka Hoshino, hadn't seen a lot of this guy. Seen the name, but I don't know much about him as a
He,
player at this
he
point.
it was kind of more so like you see him sliding still. He really had like a hot start and he was in a lot of the first couple of events. So really he was just kind of treading water and making sure he did what he was supposed to get on over here. But I mean, he's already got a couple of Japanese counterparts over here. So he'll probably, roll with Hideki Matsuyama for a few events and then, try to make his own way out there. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know how else he's going to rock with it. I mean, I don't. Japan doesn't really have that big of a presence over here. There's a lot of
not
people
here.
that
No,
want to go to Japan, but like if you're Chinese, Korean, that's different. I feel like they definitely have a bigger
more
footprint over here than anything.
more so on the women's game, right? We see quite a
Right,
few more Japanese women playing in the LPGA, but yeah, definitely very sparse on the men's side of the game.
right. I mean, because they definitely can
Kid,
make money over there on the Asian tour. I mean, they play
yeah,
so much. They're probably, I mean, they're more year
mm,
round than we are.
yeah, but those purses are really soft. That's the problem. Is that you have to play a lot to. Is it chump change? No, I mean, but it's not winning a mil and a half. So
Yeah, true.
there's some downsides. Sebastian Soderberg, not I've seen him play, seen the name. Not surprised by this one,
Yeah.
but yeah, he'll have to make a name for himself on the PGA Tour. Could be one of those ones that bounces back when he starts playing with the higher level of talent. To be honest.
Hmm.
And then Jordan Smith, kids hung around. I mean, I feel like this is one of the ones that's benefited from some of the defections, um, and kind of talent leak. He's a solid player, but again, not someone that's gonna just blow your socks off. He's good, but
Consistent
he's not.
grinder.
Yeah, yeah,
He's your consummate middle first round, late first round pick, top second round pick. You know, um, my favorite my favorite quotes. Real grinder, studier of the game. Sneak is deceptively long. Um, those type of terms. So yeah,
yeah.
he did what he was supposed to do, and he I, and
They have
he is a true Titleist guy. He is Titleist to the
yeah.
bag.
Now underneath here, there's a few names that have a chance still, right? These people are within a couple hundred points, so a win could move any of these people up the
Yeah.
list. But a couple notables that have had decent seasons that it would be interesting to see if they can get in there. Um, Guido Miglozzi has had some decent tournament runs this year.
Hmm.
Romain Langanesque also, solid season over on the DP World Tour. This one that popped out to me, and Antoine Rosner as well,
Yeah.
had a really
Hmm.
good season. Two notables. I'm going to skip weird here. So this Julian Guerrier, isn't he the guy who went into that playoff a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago with Campillo?
Hmm.
So even, Guerrier hadn't done much. So that one win took him up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that could have been very much changing because Campillo plays a lot, and
Yeah.
ended up losing that tournament. So that was a missed opportunity for him. Clearly, he's been accumulating a ton of points through playing quite a bit, but that could have given him an opportunity to play in the PGA Tour this coming year. But the other one that popped out that I would have loved to see Um, see a crazy finish to the season, but this Angel Hidalgo, the Spaniard who won the Spanish Open this year
Yeah,
over John Rahm in that playoff, kid's got a lot of game, very long off the tee, generates a lot of power for a guy that is not that big.
right.
So it'd
Plays
be
a fun
interesting to
style
see
of
him
game.
if, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can make a run. And they have a few more events this year before they conclude their season. There was one other name that I was looking at, Laurie Cantor, who also was on Live
Effective.
and has
Hmm.
migrated. Yeah, came back over to the DP World Tour and is working his way back. Just wasn't the right situation for him. So,
Yeah.
again, another person that a good week could push them up the list. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is a new pathway. Something that is available for these DP World Tour guys. We talked about last week seeing the Challenge Tour, and that they have quite a few guys that are talented and could be really good in the future. Refilling and restocking the ranks over there on the DP World Tour. So no lack of talent over there. But it's just good to see guys living out their dream. Being able to see if they can make it over and play stateside with the big boys. So yeah, that is it for our stories and things that we had on the list. Like I said, pretty light. We have some events winding down November. We'll have a handful in December as well. So no shortage of golf. We're still going to have of stuff to watch on TV. Like I said, check out the college kids, lesser known college kids on the Southwest Showcase on Golf Channel, playing at the historic Cedar Crest Golf Course here in Dallas, Texas. Hosted the PGA Championship, I think it was in 1927. So, a course with a lot of history, and they had that thing looking really good. I want to say I played it about a month ago. So,
Hmm.
um, really fun course to play. Marcus almost lost him there one time. We tried to walk, and he just wasn't ready for the North Texas heat and almost died.
Yeah, that
So,
was our first year. That was first year or second year playing. I ain't gonna
yeah.
lie to y'all. Hey, chat. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I really did. It was. I cramped up. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I was dying out there. We had to get some cart. We had to get a cart. Rod was like, "I'm good, bro." I'm like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Yo, this ain't gonna happen, bro." I
And I
mean, I
think
think it
that
was
was
number
both.
nine. We was
I
going
don't even.
straight uphill, bro. Oh my
I
god.
know. I don't even think you had a proper carry bag. I think it was like a straight cart bag that you were throwing over the shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. So
I don't know.
it's,
I don't even think it would have mattered, really.
I
I
know there are some hills at Cedar Crest.
You were going up
I
and
don't
down,
know.
bro.
I'll have to watch on the TV coverage to see if it truly encapsulates. But I'm thinking about a handful of holes where it's just straight uphill. The back of your thighs will be burning.
What,
It
like
can get pretty
six,
treacherous.
seven, 6, 7, like the start of it. So like you got that
So
uphill par three, then that par four
there's
that's
uphill.
uphill.
The par five goes uphill where you're hitting. Literally, you're in a bowl, hitting up a hill on a par
Yep.
five. Then you go downhill. Number nine, which is that par three that that kind of did you in finally, was a par three going back up the hill. Yeah, there's a lot of holes. Literally every other hole goes either down or straight back
Yeah.
up hills, but it's a
Hmm.
super fun course. Anyway, you got anything else you want to throw in there before we hop off, man?
Um. Yeah. I guess to rehash the Adrian Moronk situation, man. I watched this. Well, my big thing right now is just it being kind of like not the off season, but really just trying to grind towards my next PAT. Just
Mm-hmm.
watching a bunch of like different YouTube, and so my TPI is one of my favorite ones right now. He is a ping staffer, but Vokey wedge player. I mean, he has some Titleist clubs in his bag, so he's able to go out to their facilities and get looked at and train with them, and so they bring out the best as far as your athleticism, making sure you're up to your full capability, and as well as, tying in swing. So they have a guy that's like Dave Dave Rose or something like that. I mean, these guys are just some brainiacs when it comes to the game of golf. So they looked at his swing and really got him going with his wedges and everything like that. But yeah, it really brought up what you were talking about. I just think that him being Polish and fully European, I think he's immersed in the European style of life. I just don't think
Hmm.
that him stateside, I don't think he really got with the speed of how everything works and how quick it moves. Um, the constant travel across different states and stuff like that. And then him being, and of course, being European. So always having to produce a passport, always having to produce like, your credentials and stuff like that. I just think that probably took a wear and tear on him. And then again, like we said, the wind out of the sails with him not being able to make the Ryder Cup after a pretty stellar
Yeah.
2021 or whatever. So I get it, bro. I mean, what am I here for? Let me just make this money over here on the live and go back and play in Europe and stuff like that with the homies. And then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, that really made me think about that. But yeah, other than that, I got to talk about our guy. Rory looked really good through 3 rounds, but when
Hmm.
you're chasing a dude that shot a 61, the course record, is going to be pretty
Yeah.
tough unless you're just going 63, 64 type stuff. So, yeah, I think we have a lot to look forward to as far as, vets go in the PGA and then with our young guys. So, even
Yeah.
Adam Scott's making a resurgence. Tommy Fleetwood, he's always looking good. We know how Fairway Jesus does. So I'm excited to see what happens with the DP World Tour Championship this week. I think,
Yeah.
we already know Jamira is going to be in great shape. It never is a blade out of place with that place. So, yeah. And then, we'll get some really good windy, low scoring golf in the Bahamas. So, just another really good week of golf to be excited to watch as a golf junkie. And
Yeah. I would
hopefully,
say
you know,
just before you move on real quick. Yeah. Rory McIlroy. I did see quite a few swings from him and him talking about going through a swing change here recently where he was just hitting into a bay and not seeing the ball flight. He said he intentionally stayed away from, watching
sim
the
work.
ball flight.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I don't even think he was on this like a sim because still that tells you what your ball flight's doing. He said he
Yeah.
was just hitting into a void because he wanted to just implement these changes without reacting to what the ball was doing. I only saw really one major miscue, and I think it was like a double cross with the driver where he ended up pulling it way left.
Hmm.
I think trying to hit a cut, but otherwise, the swing, any swing change doesn't look incredibly different on TV. Whatever he changed is very slight. So the swing still looked very Rory esque, but um, it's not the dramatic stuff that we saw from Jordan Spieth these last few years with the super high hands and you know that dude stuff. Let's see here.
Agreed, Mickey.
Fleetwood's Fleetwood's new putter is ugly.
Yeah.
LOL.
He needs
I
to
didn't
go
take a
back
look
to
at
that blade. He needs to go back to
what's
that
he
Odyssey
playing.
blade. I don't know. It's a big hunky junk. The one of them, helper clubs, whatever. Um,
It's not a lab.
no, 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 no. I think it's either TaylorMade or Odyssey. I think he's gonna stay with one of those two brands, but it is definitely a big hunk of junk. Um, no, I'm glad you brought up
His
Rory's
shoes are
swing.
his new shoes are also garbage as well. But
Yeah, until he gets look, he gonna start sporting them Scotty Schefflers, then he gonna be back on it. Woo! Them Scotties is clean.
you're
I
right.
can't wait for him to drop. I can't wait for him to drop. Actually, I might get me a pair of Nikes. I have not bought a pair of Nike golf shoes in so long, but it might have to happen. But yeah,
Let's
bringing up
go ahead.
Rory swing. Um, as a as a an assistant pro at a golf course, it's noticeable enough that he made a swing change. And again, as a player that kind of swings more from the top, it really was noticeable to see what he was doing. He has the club to him what has to feel like so laid off, because if
Mm,
you look at his swing, he gets to the top and then goes to get that extra little turn, and that club case goes across the top instead of it going straight down the plane line of his arms. So, he was using the Pro Sender training aid, and he
mm.
was using another thing that kept him connected and kept him a little bit more flat and behind him as well. So, um, yeah, good on him for doing the work. And he has to be just, I mean, clearly he was already a prodigy, but you're really seeing how much of a prodigy he is for him to be able to do that much work and make that drastic of a swing in 3 weeks.
And
Like
still
that is,
compete.
and still compete and shoot low. That is an
Yep.
insane amount of work to be done. But that's what I mean. We saw what happened with Tiger. Tiger did the same thing. Tiger went away to the shed for months in 99 or 98 or whatever before he made that 99 2000 run. And then when he went to Hank Haney in '05, he did
Yeah.
the same thing. And then when he went to Sean Foley in 2012 after the back, did the same thing. So
Well,
yeah, go
I'm
ahead,
gonna pull
Mickey.
up this. No. I'm gonna pull up this uh, Fleetwood putter.
Oh,
So
ew, look at this neck,
bro. Okay, so yes, it is ugly, and then let's turn it around. Horrible.
the garbage.
Oh man! And then they try to combine it with the. Again, you can't tell me this is not the rip off of the Newport 2 Scotty Cameron. It's just like,
That is
come on
disgusting.
now. I hate it. I dissed TaylorMade putters a couple weeks ago and just said they are the most unimaginative putter makers out here in the game right now, and this just proves it. That is an atrocity. Like no BSing around it. That is horrible.
That is
Ugh.
disgusting. But take it away, please. Take it away.
Andy, as long as he stays away from Hank Haney.
Shout
I
out my
think at
man
this
Handy.
point, I think everybody's staying away from Hank Haney. He's turned into a kook online. So yeah,
Oh
Hank
yeah.
Haney. Even when you talk about like a Sean Foley, um, hadn't been super successful winning on tour. Like had a few wins here and there, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of these golfers and uh, kind of the notable coaches that have gotten names, the success doesn't always follow, right? I don't know. It's a weird, like David Ledbetter. There's a whole Reddit thread attacking like David Ledbetter coaching and him screwing up Lydia Ko. So I don't know. These celeb golf coaches are an interesting breed. Hell, even Peter Costas has broken with Paul Casey, or Paul Casey broke with Peter Costas, who he has also turned into an online kook as well. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the
I
notable
wouldn't lump.
coaches.
I agree. I wouldn't necessarily lump Sean Foley in there with that. I mean, he's got a good stable. Plus, but I mean that's mainly because if you look at his training aid that he made with the other PGA guy, David Woods, um,
Hmm.
you'll notice that it's more of like it's it's how what I would say a pro should be teaching people. You absolutely want to be able to give instruction, but a lot of this stuff, once you get to a certain level of skill, you should be able to self-diagnose what is happening. It should be a
Right.
tinker here, a tinker there. And I feel like that's what the Pro Center does. The Pro Center and I'm like big up in this thing, and this is just off of video and limited use. One of the pros at my course uses it, and he puts it
Okay.
on. But it's like it. Look, if you're a pro and you can write it off a part of your business, you got to go get it. It's like $300. I wouldn't say if you're just like a 15 handicap and you have the money, or you have like a family that loves you or something like that, then yes, you ask
It's
them
a
to go get
Christmas
that.
birthday present.
It is,
There,
yeah,
there, there is also a
300.
Timu. There's also a Timu version of the Pro Cinder. I'm just
Hmm,
saying.
okay.
If you
So yeah,
just if you just want to if you just want to try it, I'm just
right.
saying.
Okay. I might look into that. But yeah, so it's really about training your wrist hinge, not making sure that you're not hinging it too much, because at a certain level, it's just obsolete for you to have that much crank in it and stuff like that. So, and then
Yeah.
it's also getting you at the right angle and stuff like that. And it's making you self taught with how you come through the ball and how you want to exit and stuff like that. Um, Chill out,
What's
Kevin.
up? What's up?
Chill
What's
out.
up, Kel? Kel in the
Chill out,
chat.
Kevin.
How you doing, my brother?
But yeah, so I think that Sean Foley's a good guy. Also, Mark Blackburn, he is making golf athletic as hell, bro. Like if you look at Golf Science Lab, if you look at Max Homa and stuff like that, he is making golf an athlete's game, which you have to commend, because a lot of these people continue to try to discount golf and the moves that you make until you play it, and then you really understand what's going on out there. So shout out to Mark Blackburn. I think he's the number one golfer for 2024. But yeah, Sean Foley's like the number one golf coach in Golf Digest for like
Yeah,
2022 or
I
2023. So it was something very recent where he was still
I get
pretty
it.
up there.
I get it. I just think that the whole like teaching, we talked about this, right? Scoring is one thing. Playing the game of golf swing is one thing, but playing golf is a whole other game, right?
Yeah.
So having the aesthetically pleasing or hitting all the positions is not how you shoot a score, right?
Yeah.
That's not what it's all about. So maybe that's where I think the miss is in golf coaching, is that a lot of it is around golf swing. And like you said, I would love for golf to be more athletic and not be so robotic and positional and oh you got to be here, or like you said, there, I mean, we look at swings across the world and they're people get it done in different ways.
Yeah.
So coach the player that's right in front of you and see what you can do with that talent, not necessarily mold them to your system, where I think the error may lie. I think that's what went wrong with David Ledbetter. I think he was forcing people into
Oh,
these positions and like, hey, you got to
1000%.
be right here. And what's interesting is like his little coaching academy, David Ledbetter's, pops up on my Instagram feed as like a sponsored ad all the time. And I'm like, no, sir. No, no, sir. Not at all. So
Get back.
anyway.
Yeah,
All right, bro.
if I could block him, I would.
You're crazy. So
The
you see
A
him too?
swing. Yeah, the A swing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
still pops up.
All right. Let's get out of here. Love you guys. Thank y'all for joining the chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Bearder Bros Golf Show. I do want to leave with one word. Um, Go out there in the world, be a good person. Small acts can add up to good big things. So your individual contributions to this world and positivity can make an impact beyond what you think. So wake up, give more than you take back, and we'll all be all good in this thing. So,
Be
Bearder Bros
resilient.
Golf Show. Yes, right. Bearder Bros Golf Show. We'll be back next week. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Catch y'all.